Coming up on Mountain News this morning, police continue the search of missing Nancy Guthrie. And in northern Kentucky, a man appears in court after he was caught on video pulling a gun out on a group of people.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neela Green here with you on this Wednesday, February 4th. The time is now 6 o'clock, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at your forecast. Megan, I know it was supposed to rain, but I was not expecting that when I walked out the door. I just forgot.
Well, I haven't forecast in a while, so when I walked out the door, I was too, and surprised by the rain. So that's something that we can all, I guess, keep in mind as we head out the door. The good news is it's cleared itself out, but we are dealing with some fog this morning in that forecast, especially for those who are living on the Kentucky-Virginia border and the Kentucky-Tennessee border. We have that dense fog advisory for Campbell and Claiborne, Tennessee, and Lee and Wise, Virginia. And you can just see where that dense fog is primarily located, just as I mentioned, along those borders and even into portions of West Virginia. And as I mentioned as well, we are looking on the drier side this morning as compared to what we saw the past 6 hours with that wintry mix chance that came through. Now, what this means for you is there's some slushy road conditions for the southern half of our region. Now, for our northern counties, we're looking at temperatures near or below freezing, so you could see some icy roads. So just be careful as you're heading out the door. Speaking of, here's a look at those temperatures. It's 28 degrees in Moorhead, 30 in Stanton and Louisa, at that freezing point 32 in Prestonsburg and Pikeville. And by the afternoon, we'll still be seeing a mixture of the 30s all throughout, really just staying between 31 to 36 degrees, with the exception of Jonesville 37 and Jacksboro 39 is the high. And we'll hit that high temperature around 3 p.m. But as I mentioned, we're not going to see too much variations of those temperatures throughout the day. So what it feels like outside is probably about what it's going to feel like this afternoon. Neely.
Megan, thank you. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell is waking up in the hospital this morning. A spokesman says it's out of an abundance of caution after he started experiencing flu-like symptoms over the weekend. The spokesman says the prognosis is positive. This video of Senator McConnell from Friday speaking on the Senate floor. McConnell has been in the Senate for 40 years and is not seeking re-election. He is 83 years old. A well-known Apple shop filmmaker in Letcher County has died. Elizabeth Banks Barrett died yesterday at her home. Barrett grew up in Hazard, and after graduating from the University of Kentucky, she began working as a filmmaker at Apple Shop, a media arts center in Whitesburg. Possibly her most famous documentary is Stranger with a Camera, which looked at the 1967 shooting death of Canadian filmmaker Hugh O'Connor in Letcher County. Barrett's funeral will be Saturday at 2 at Letcher Funeral Home. Elizabeth Barrett was 74. Now to a developing story in Lexington, where police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. State police say Lexington police tried to make a traffic stop for a vehicle associated with a person who had felony warrants out of North Carolina. During the stop, 3 officers fired their weapons, hitting the suspect. The 40-year-old man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. In northern Kentucky, a man was in court after he was shown on video pulling out a gun and pointing it toward a crowd. The incident happened last Saturday outside of an elementary school in the Verona area of Boone County. Deputies say they spoke to witnesses who provided footage of 28-year-old Stephen Hamlin pulling out a gun and pointing it toward several people. The incident stems from a youth basketball game where Hamlin and a coach talked about the playing time of Hamlin's child.
So based on the current allegations, the bond in the case is reasonable. It's going to remain $200,000 full cash. However, looking through your criminal history, you've got an endangering the welfare of a minor back in 20, got some AIs, you've got an unlawful transaction with a minor back in 18.
That video was from Hamlin's court hearing Monday. He pleaded not guilty to multiple charges, including wanton endangerment. In Clark County, Winchester police need your help to identify a man in connection to a catalytic converter theft. Officers say on January 17th, cameras caught the man cutting the catalytic converter off a BCTC van on campus. If you can identify the pickup truck or the man, you are asked to call Winchester Police at 859-745-7403. As the search for Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, stretches to a fourth day, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos confirms to CBS News an apparent ransom note sent to a local TV station is now part of the investigation. In its specific details about the 84-year-old's home and what she was wearing the night she went missing, but he would not confirm its authenticity. CBS News cameras captured what appears to be a small amount of blood outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. Nanos says a little bit of blood was found inside the home as well.
We've submitted all kinds of samples for DNA, and we've gotten some back, but nothing to indicate any suspects.
The FBI is assisting, conducting interviews, and analyzing local cell phone data. The agency is also asking for the public's health. The ex-husband of former First Lady Jill Biden is accused of murdering his current wife. Police say they found the body of 64-year-old Linda Stevenson inside a home in Newcastle, Delaware in December. A grand jury indicted 77-year-old William Stevenson for murder. Yesterday, he appeared in court and a judge ordered him held on a $500,000 bond. Stevenson was married to Biden from 1970 until their divorce in 1975. The man charged with the killing of Charlie Kirk was back in Utah courtroom yesterday. The defense team for 22-year-old Tyler Robinson wants the prosecutor's office removed from the case. They allege there is a conflict of interest, and that's because a prosecutor's 18-year-old child was in the crowd at a Utah Valley University when Kirk was shot. The county attorney's office denies a conflict of interest, saying the adult child did not see the shooting or anyone with a gun. The House of Representatives voted to end a partial government shutdown and send a $1.2 trillion spending plan to President Donald Trump's desk. The funding was held up over Democratic opposition to ICE agents killing U.S. citizens. WYMT Washington correspondent Brendan Collerton reports on the deal from Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Mike Johnson had to thread the needle on the government funding vote between Democrats who want reforms to ICE and Republicans looking for voter ID requirements. The House passed the measure by the skin of its teeth with a 217 to 214 vote.
It's like Groundhog Day in a way, the movie, the bad movie.
Less than 3 months after ending the last government shutdown, lawmakers in the House of Representatives narrowly ended a much shorter one Tuesday and have now funded 96% of the government through September.
A big move towards regular order is something we promised and committed to. The biggest move towards that in many, many years.
But the deal only funds the Department of Homeland Security for 10 days, as Democrats demand changes in the wake of federal agents killing 2 U.S. citizens in Minneapolis.
Donald Trump and Kristi Noem have been using Americans' taxpayer dollars to terrorize law-abiding immigrants, kill U.S. citizens, detain children, and endanger communities.
Democrats say they will not renew DHS funding in 10 days without significant changes to ICE, including mandatory body cameras, removing masks, and ending roving patrols.
But executive actions are not enough, and this administration has proven it cannot be trusted. We don't need promises, we need law.
Republicans emphasize pulling money from DHS would have far-reaching implications on other sectors of the government besides ICE.
It is TSA. It's the agents who keep us safe in the airports and keep air travel moving. It's the Coast Guard.
21 Democrats voted for the government funding plan. 21 Republicans voted against it. In Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
Police in Memphis, Tennessee area shared their moment of bravery after rescuing 2 boys who fell through a frozen pond. It happened a few days ago near an apartment complex in Shelby County, Tennessee. A 12-year-old boy is recovering while his 7-year-old brother is fighting for his life. One of the deputies talked about why he jumped in to take action without hesitation.
Seeing the 12-year-old bobbing on the side of the ice. At that moment, I rushed straight into the water. I grabbed the rope, and with the assistance of the bystanders that was near me, I was able to pull the 12-year-old out the water, and they assisted by pulling me out.
Deputy Israel Muhammad says he was scared, but the only thing he could focus on was saving a life. At the same time, another police officer found the other boy in the water, pulled him up on the bank, and started giving him CPR to save his life.
We're looking at temperatures in a mixture of the 20s and 30s as you're heading out the door. So a little bit of a chillier start to your day, but those temperatures aren't going to be changing too much over the course of your Wednesday, as highs only make it to the 30s, really just the low 30s for the northern counties and the mid 30s as you're traveling more towards our southern counties. Now, this is very different from where we should be this time of year. Your February 4th is supposed to be at 46 degrees. I would love to see the 40s, but thankfully that is on the way as we're heading into next week. But as of now, we're just dealing with a little bit of fog, some sprinkles here and there. And then as we head into the afternoon, we'll watch as another chance of a wintry mix returns and continues into the evening. Here's a look at that 12-hour forecast for you. Just going to be focusing on a lot of clouds and a lot of temperatures sitting in the 30s. Neely.
Megan, thank you. And thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Optometrists across the Commonwealth are wondering how Kentucky licensed them.
And we're talking about a chance of hitting the 50s as you're heading into your next work week.